Good afternoon. Welcome to Tribune News on Q. You go to afternoon news source only here at Daily Tribune. We are now live at Daily Tribune Facebook page, Daily Tribune PH on YouTube, and Daily Tribune Official on TikTok. For today's headlines. A ferry with more than 350 people on board sank Monday morning in the southern Philippines, Basilan, leaving at least 15 dead and 28 still missing. PCG hails heroic captain who ordered crew to abandon ship before cargo vessel capsized off Panatag Shoal. Three fishermen from Hinobaan, Negros Occidental, are safely back on dry land after surviving a harrowing 36-hour ordeal adrift in the Sulu Sea. PNP chief orders creation of special task group to probe ambush of Sharif Aguac mayor. House Majority Leader and Ilocos Norte Representative Ferdinand Alexander Sanjo Marcos III has pledged to rescue himself from discussions on the impeachment of his father, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., to safeguard the chamber's integrity. Another round of fuel price increases awaits motorists this week, with pump prices set to rise by as much as 1.40 per liter starting Tuesday, January 27. Television host Bianca Gonzalez expressed disappointment over the high cost of traveling to Siargao, noting that expenses for the popular Philippine island destination are significantly higher than those of neighboring countries. Stephen Curry scored 26 points to lead the Golden State Warriors to a 111-85 victory over the Minnesota Timberwolves on Sunday. Today is the 26th of January, Monday, and I'm Louisse Kalingag, bringing you today's top stories. Let's get started. A ferry with more than 350 people on board sank Monday morning in the southern Philippines, leaving at least 15 dead and 28 still missing, the Philippine Coast Guard said. The MV Trisha Kersin 3 issued a distress signal around 1:50 a.m., a bit over 4 hours after it departed the port of Zamboanga City on the southern western tip of Mindanao, the PCG said in a statement. At least 316 people had so far been rescued, Romel Dua, a Coast Guard commander, told AFP, with 15 confirmed dead and 28 still accounted for. The ferry went down about 5 kilometers east of Balok-Balok Island, part of the Basilan Province chain of islands of the Zamboanga Peninsula. As a cargo ship capsized off Scarborough Panatag Shoal, its still missing captain ordered his crew to jump ship amid liquefaction and bad weather, an act the Philippine Coast Guard hailed as heroism. This account of Captain Elimar Huca's instruction was relayed by the 15 survivors of the sunken MV Devon Bay, who were brought to Manila by BRP Teresa Magbanwa, which arrived at port by early Monday. The survivors declined interviews, so Captain Alvin Dagalay of the Teresa Magbanwa relayed their ordeal after their turnover from the Chinese Coast Guard to the PCG. Three fishermen from Hinobaan, Negros Occidental, are safely back on dry land after surviving a harrowing 36-hour ordeal adrift in the Sulu Sea. The trio were rescued by a passing international vessel on Sunday, January 25, prompting a coordinated response from the Philippine Coast Guard. According to Coast Guard District Western Visayas, the fishermen, residents of Barangay Colipapa, Hinobaan, were left at the mercy of strong currents after their fishing boat, MV Princess Hena, sank in open waters. For 2 days and 1 night, the men drifted at sea before being spotted by the crew of the MV Maod, a Singaporean flag ball carrier transiting waters of Siocon, Zamboanga del Norte. Philippine National Police Acting Chief Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. on Monday ordered the Police Regional Office BARMM to form a special investigation task group to identify those who ordered and financed the ambush on Sharif Aguac Mayor Ahmad Mitra Ampatuan in Maguindanao del Sur. PNP spokesperson Randolph Tuaño said Nartates wants the masterminds behind the ambush identified and arrested. Tuaño said the slain suspects were members of a family allegedly known as the Region as gun for hire. House Majority Leader and Ilocos Norte Representative Ferdinand Alexander Sandro Marcos III has pledged to rescue himself from discussions on the impeachment of his father, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., to safeguard the chamber's integrity. Representative Marcos said that while the rules of the House do not require him to step aside, he is doing so to preserve the integrity of the process and maintain public trust in the existing accountability mechanisms. In view of the impeachment complaints filed against President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., who is my father, I have decided to formally rescue myself from all discussions, deliberations, and proceedings of the House Committee on Rules insofar as these complaints are concerned, Representative Marcos said. According to Marcos, he is confident in the independence and professionalism of the colleagues in the House. And for our business news, another round of fuel price increases awaits motorists this week, with pump prices set to rise by as much as 1.40 per liter starting Tuesday, January 27. This week marks the third consecutive fuel price hike of the year, with gasoline by up to 40 centavos per liter, kerosene by 80 centavos per liter, and diesel by 1.40. Diesel, however, has been rising since late December, making this its fifth straight week of increases. And for our Philippine stocks, it closed mostly higher, led by gains in the broader market and select sectors. The benchmark PSCI inched up by 4.66 points or 0.7% to 6,337.92, while the All Shares Index added 1.52 points or 0.4% to 3,600.83. Sectoral performance was mixed. Financials rose by 0.73%, while services gained 0.71%. Mining and oil recorded the strongest advance, surging 3.38%. Meanwhile, industrial shares declined by 0.49%, holding firms fell by 0.50%, and property dropped by 0.37%. And for our entertainment news, television host Bianca Gonzalez expressed disappointment over the high cost of traveling to Siargao, noting that expenses for the popular Philippine island destination are significantly higher than those of neighboring countries. She said this is one of the reasons many travelers find it difficult to support local tourism fully. Gonzalez took to her ex, formerly Twitter page on Friday, January 23, to echo the sentiments of lawyer and columnist Gregorio Y. Larrazabal, who called on the Department of Tourism to lower the cost of domestic flights. And for our sports news, Stephen Curry scored 26 points to lead the Golden State Warriors to a 111-85 victory over the Minnesota Timberwolves on Monday Manila time, his latest NBA milestone overshadowed by upheaval in Minneapolis. Curry, the league's all-time leading three-point scorer, climbed into a tie with Paul Pierce for 19th on the career scoring list as he finished the game with 26,397. A game-time decision to play because of knee soreness, Curry didn't have his best shooting night, connecting on just 7 of 18 attempts. And for this afternoon's trivia, Daisy Avellana, a name etched in the annals of Philippine theater and film, left an indelible mark of the cultural landscape. Born Lourdes Genova Dolores Pardo, Hontiveros on January 26, 1917, in Capiz, Nauroja City, she embodied the spirit of artistic excellence and innovation. And for our viral story, a TikTok user shared a moment of her husband speaking to beach staff from a distance as if they know each other personally. She said it's normal for her husband to talk to locals wherever they go. That's all for now. Join us again at 4:30 p.m. still here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, Tribune Now on YouTube, and Daily Tribune Official on TikTok. Once again, I'm Louisse Kalingag, and this has been Tribune News on Q.